if Toby can fit through the gap. I'm pretty sure it's 6 foot. You got loads of room on this side. Yeah, loads. Easy. We did it. Super view.
Yeah. So we're back with another conversation today. A question that we got asked on the last video, which was how often should we upload, or should somebody upload? Because I think it's not just about, a lot of people get hung up on, it's more about just producing as much content as you can, really.
Yeah, I think the way that I do it is I don't have a strict ideal in mind, like, because you can end up thinking and worrying too much about meeting that kind of deadline. You end up setting a deadline for yourself rather than just kind of appreciating it as an experience, and then that can take over. Like, there's a lot of times that where I've made videos and they're kind of ready to upload on that day, but I think if I just sleep on it and come back tomorrow morning, I might have some new ideas, and that's a lot of the time. Many times that's been really useful, like to go back and add more to it or change something.
A deadline's not a bad thing though, because I don't know if you've ever had it where you've had a video and because there's no deadline to it, you'll just keep tweaking it, you keep going back into it.
Yeah, there's that as well.
You just keep going to that, but I know what you mean of when it comes to, you just need to have that time. At some point you have to say stop, but
yeah,
you can keep doing it. I think it's, for me, like, as long as you're uploading, some people can do daily videos, which hats off to them.
Yeah,
So
I'm not sure how they manage that, to be honest.
Especially like when you got to juggle life and everything. But I think when you can just put out as much as you feel you need to put out. Like, there's some great YouTubers that'll put out one video a month, but they know that that video will be the best of what they can do. Just to try and avoid like getting burnt out with it, because that's the main monster in all of this. Of the more you start to upload it and the more frequently you become, the more used to your audience get to you uploading regularly, and then it's difficult to dial back from there.
I try and keep my focus on the creativity and just creating the content rather than like how long it takes. I did go through a period probably last year, within the last 6 months, where I was getting about at least three videos a week, and that felt really good. But then when I started to slow down and do other things, it was on my mind then. I was very conscious of, is this going to affect my growth or my audience, or are people going to be sat there wondering where the next video is? And I think you could do without that. Every time I've tried to rush a video or get it done to a specific time, I've always felt that kind of unnecessary pressure that shouldn't really be there or doesn't really need to be there.
If you can take your time with it, you're going to be able to mould it to the best of your ability, and I'd rather take my time with it, knowing that, not worrying about the next video, just to get that one as best as I can do it.
At the end of each video, that video is going to be, it's there forever once you press the upload button. There's no going back and changing it. That's always a nice feeling that I find.
Apart from when you upload it and then you see the mistake when you've realised.
Yeah. And then it's kind of, you have to have the mentality of, just on to the next one.
Put it to bed, really.
I find that a little bit sad sometimes when, I've made a video that I think is really special and it's been a really good experience and memory. It starts to disappear instantly because you've got to move on then to the next video.
Yeah, you can't dwindle on it and stuff. Yeah. I think that's because it's kind of absorbed your life though, if you put like a big thing into it. So like my recent videos, these Magic Over FaceTimes, put so much time into them, like the whole of lockdown and everything, and then now that they're all done, I'm like, it just feels so different going on to another project, because they basically just became everything that I was thinking about and doing for so long that you don't know how to kind of let it go, really.
Content and regular uploads, it shouldn't be a huge part of your kind of impetus, your whole reason for being on YouTube. You should just be really accepting and also forgiving of yourself when you might get into it and think, I'm going to do 4 videos a week, but then when you start, you realise, actually, it's not that easy.
As they say, quality over quantity, I think that's the best thing to look at it.
Definitely.
And at the end of the day, as long as you can get a video done, it's better to get one video done, to the best of your ability, and actually have that finished video out there, than 4 half-assed videos.
Yeah, you're right,
I think it's just
on your craft as well, and the videos that you're specifically making. You know, I think there's room for me to have more time between each one. One problem, or not a problem, but one thing that I discovered in doing it is, so I put a tutorial out teaching this card move, and then 2 days later I'd have another video ready, and I'd notice people saying, I haven't had enough time to focus on the first video and learn that before moving on to this one, which isn't too much of a problem because they can queue the videos up. But
I suppose at some point you get overwhelmed though, don't you, with all the information? It's like Netflix, you know, you're always, how many times do you have your big long list of Netflix and you still flick through, adding more stuff to your list, growing it before you've consumed what you've already got.
Don't give yourself a time limit. I think that's a good bit of advice. Like, don't say I'm gonna get this done and I need to do it by this certain time.
So I know we've both experienced like burnout with videos. Do you want to talk about that a bit?
Yeah, I think it happens to everybody, you know, especially creators.
Yeah,
especially,
I think that's the big thing. You start to doubt yourself and you start to question.
Yeah, you get kind of very used to it, and it becomes all you know at some point, you know, and you just need separation. It's quite important, getting away from what you're doing, you know, and it's happened to me plenty of times, you know, spending too much time focusing on videos after videos, and then you end up getting a bit tired.
But it's the appreciation of how people look on stuff, because you put so much effort into something and it's just kind of dismissed or brushed under the carpet, and you're like,
yeah,
I know you shouldn't focus on that, but for some reason you still do, because obviously you've put a lot of work into it, and that can just really beat at you. And like I did some videos and people were going, oh yeah, there's no effort, it looks like you've put no effort into that video. It's like, do you realise like the effort that you do go to for it all? Your mindset gets in the way of you wanting to go on to the next video, really.
I kind of see all my videos as becoming a part of a library, you know, so everything's although you move on from the video that you've just made to make the next one, and you don't think about the last one. The library and the collection is all there. You reminded me of, like, filming for me is being in front of a camera and filming what I need to show on that video is probably the easy part. I'll spend 10 times longer in the edit making sure it looks good, and what might have taken me 2 days in time ends up becoming a little 1 minute, 2 minute introduction to a video that's in a lot of cases just dismissed.
They look at a 10-minute video and they think it took 10 minutes to make it type of a thing.
They want to see the amount of time and effort and energy that goes into it.
It's okay at some points to just take a break. The idea of just stepping back and going, you know what, there's going to be no video this week or this month is a bad thing. I think a lot of people, when they get sucked into this wormhole of it, they're like, I've got to keep pumping videos out.
Energy and concern that goes into content constantly going, and even at certain times, I think that should be replaced with thinking mainly about the quality of the content. And I think when you get into a pattern of rushing, you stop thinking about the quality. You start thinking about, you know, beating that date, meeting that date or that deadline. When I think when people get into it, especially at first, you do kind of set yourself this goal of, I'll do every Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. But I think you should replace that idea and think, I just want to make good content.
Make good content when you can, at your ability. And also make like what you want to make as well.
Everyone's got to remember as well, there's an audience for everybody. Whatever you're making, whatever videos you're making, no matter what quality or what level you're at your production, you're always going to find that there's an audience who wants to watch your videos. The idea of content with variety, like it's better to have variety than too much.
Thunder.
Wow.
Starting to thunder really coming down now.
Yeah, that's pretty long.
So we just sat outside the office.
The madhouse, the headquarters to be very soon.
Just over there behind us.
We really want to keep making these videos. We kind of let each video be instructive of the next. So we started this video with Toby looking at the comments and finding out what you were asking. So yeah, let us know what you want to hear us talking about.
Stripping in now.
And we'll see you next time.
Put these windows up before we get drenched.
Cut.